which is sharing a shared goal. I'm not talking about the same goal. No two companies may have a same goal, okay? And if they have a same goal, they won't partner that way. So there is a term which is called a shared goal. Even when we go to the clients and we pitch our stuff, right? We talk about shared goal. That is where all these things, strategic alliances, come into picture. Okay, little bit back with the Black Swan event, everybody knows about COVID, what happened, right? And you all know about data firms which were there, which were having data centers at different places. They have backup data centers at some other place, so that in this data center something happens, you can go there, right? But that all changed because COVID came in and people started moving to cloud. Yesterday there was, in the tech panel, there was a discussion around cloud, right? And I just wanted to mention that that's actually helped us to move as an opportunity. Everybody was looking at it as something like, for the organizations like us, we didn't have, we were not having that much understanding, or I'll say that expertise around that. And that is where strategic alliances played an important role, where we can go from one day to the next day and we are actually online for everything, whatever we were doing. And the clients were not even aware that we have done something like this across. So according to me, that's operational excellence, where the clients have the same customer delight, which was yesterday, today, and tomorrow, with the back end, but they were not even aware that this has happened, right? So that's operational excellence for me.
Thank you, Vibhor. Nicely explained. I think you gave the background of operations also, and how alliances, can be helpful. What I feel is that in manufacturing, context of manufacturing, operations excellence is about eliminating waste, of course, yes. And see, the need of this. My initial question is why we keep, on going on operational excellence. Initially, any company would try to do their best to achieve, the best of efficiency. So they would keep on, reducing the raw material norms, reducing the utilities, the resource consumptions, and all those things through their own efforts. All the low-hanging fruits, whatever are possible, we will try to achieve that. Whatever best possible with our resources, we'll try to achieve that. And then, Satish was talking about benchmarking, so where we are. So initial benchmarking starts with our own data points, So where are we on our utility consumption? Where are we on our raw material use and all those things? But then gradually, on one point of time, as the competition goes, peers and peers, in this VUCA world, there's nothing, left unknown. For a particular domain of product, everything is known. Everyone knows what you are making, how you are making, So where does the competition lie? And if you want to differentiate between, two products, apart from quality, what comes is cost. And then in that cost, this excellence plays, a major role, and hence the different dimension of excellence is coming through. And in that part, strategic alliances are becoming more and more important, because not everything you can do yourself. So you need help of technology. And there lies the importance of strategic alliances, where you can easily approach another one, as they can have shared goals, and then they talk about, their objectives, and if they align, we go ahead with the strategic alliances. So that's my take on that. Now I move on to the next part. Are there challenges faced in choosing a strategic partner? So Tyagarajan, to you, what care that we need to exercise in choosing partners? I think I heard this question in the last panel discussion also. Some of the students, asked about this. So what's your view on
that? Choosing a strategic partner is a very critical junction of operational excellence. I think we both spoke about shared goal. That's a critical component when it comes to choosing and the challenges that you have in choosing the right strategic partner. There are so many solutions which are available, and you might see it in kind of a marketing gimmick, but you don't really know whether they are going to execute it in that way or not. So it's very critical that you do a very thorough understanding and kind of discussion with your partner that you're going to build a relationship with. Because at the end of the day, you're going to spend money, which will impact your P&L, add to your overall cost. But if you don't achieve the shared goal, then I think you are at loss and also your strategic partner at the same time. And then in an example of quick commerce, I spoke about the different aspects of getting a parcel delivered. A small solution is implemented, then the complexity adds to the overall developing that particular solution in your app. The experience has to be the same, irrespective of end solution the customer has at that particular society. So the complexity then increases. The experience needs to be. We do find such kind of challenges during the execution of implementing these. We try to see that the customer experience.
already?
Based on that.
तो उठा दो तो
So can you please briefly, elaborate on that? How
Fine,
strategic
fine.
alliance and
एक बार दूसरे फोन से चेक कर लो
हम चेक कर रहे हैं
ठीक
Yeah, especially on the B2B side, I would like to say that it's a requirement of change of the mindset from mind to hours. Okay? Mind to hours, I'm just using this word. So once you have a partnership like one example of the Delight, they have a consulting they have a consulting strong presence across the world. But they are using or suggesting the technologies of either Siemens or the competitor of the Siemens. That's why we have a very nice alignment, especially on the Siemens accelerator where we are driving everything. I would like to give an example on how the strategic alliance and the operational excellence support the customer. So, few years back, I met one of the CEO of one of the famous or one of the leading dairy industries of India, and I asked a question to CEO that what problem we can solve about it. He said, I don't think so. We have some problem, Satish, because we have a different business model. And I asked what exactly, and they mentioned that we are buying milk in higher cost and selling lower cost. And where you can lessen this type of business model, I believe we should not sustain. But yeah, we are making some money on some of the other aspects of the milk product which we are selling. So how you are going to help me, which can reduce the operational cost. And from the technology wise, we have two technologies. One is the OT, that is operational technology, and another one is the IT, that is called information technology. Just for all of your understanding, in OT, we have our automation like we have DCs, digital control system, we have SCADA, you have a digital twin, you have IoT, you have IoT, you are putting artificial intelligence, industry 4.0, and other things. And how you are going to integrate these technologies with the information technology like SAP, your ERP, how you are going to integrate it. As a Siemens, we are master in operational technology. Okay? And if some customer will ask me to integrate this operational technology to information technology with SAP, we cannot do it. So in normal way, we have to go and acquire one IT companies, and you know that a lot of merger acquisition that thing, it will take a lot of time. Can you afford it? So it's not a requirement, it's a necessity that we have to do it. Coming on the example of the big dairy companies, so once we were starting analyzing the complete process of them, we analyzed that yes, there is a gap which we have to fill. And how we are doing it? We have definitely taken some consultants like Deloitte, I will not name the company, and we started working together and prepared the complete roadmap, framework, shown to the MD of the company. He says, but it looked like you are asking me that we will have a 50% saving in electrical consumption, productivity increase by 20%. I can't believe you. I asked, well, but why you don't believe me? We can do it. So he says that if it will fail, my money will go away. And you are a big company, how I am going to recover it. Okay, I don't want to fight with you because we have a very nice relationship. So what the different business model you can bring here, and then another partnership has been added. Okay, we will also bring the money. We will implement this solution in your factory. If it fails, it's ours. But in the return of investment, whatever saving you will do for next 8 years or 9 years, we will take 50% of the savings. And this 50% of the savings will be distributed among the partners, who is basically helping us in IT, OT, and the financial. It looks like this is why not if I'm getting 50% savings, I should be very happy to help it out. You have never heard executing a project from OPEX. You always say how much capex is required. Here I'm not talking about neither the OPEX nor capex. Means as a head of operation, you really need not to do anything. We have gone, we have implemented the solution. My CFO has challenged me, normally financial. So this is quite risk. Definitely, you are going to do something without taking a single money from the customer. Quite risk. The statement made by all of us, me and my partners, that if we can't trust our own technology, then it's better customer should penalize us. That's the confidence of the technology of Industry 4.0 which gives to us. And we have gone away, we have implemented the solution. Financial partners, consulting partners, executive partners, and IT partners. We believe we have almost 50% of saving in electricity. Almost productivity has gone 20%. I will just give you the saving of carbon content in such a way that you can plant 1 acre of barren land in a year. That much of carbon saving we have created with the help of the technology, which we are talking about today. I was talking about the customer delight. Customer was saying we were expecting 13, but in the peak somebody is going to 70. So ideally, if you are using the Industry 4.0 technology in a nice way, either digital twin you are using or IoT or completely what technology you are using, with nice way of the integration of financing model and the partnership, it can create the miracle. Another example I would like to quote of the classical of how the customer need can be satisfied with the partnership. One of my famous steel companies, he says that if anybody has been visited in Jasugora and in JSW, and you see that a lot of trucks are there, correct? Whenever you are going to Jasugora, you can find a lot of trucks are going. Even we were coming yesterday from Jasugora to Sambalpur, we saw how many trucks are here, we cannot count. So this is the problem one of the steel company has given us, that can you solve the problem of these trucks are unnecessarily standing near to the gate, side of the roads, can you solve it? So we should definitely, we have a technology which will try to solve it. So we have used some of the technology of Industry 4.0 and we presented to the customer. Again, it's a question. How you are going to integrate with our SAP system? The part of it, like, if the trucks is starting from mines to the plant, so we have ensured that only those trucks will come to the plant which has been planned by the complete ERP system. So once it is reached from the plant, gate will automatically open, it will enter, it will go to the place where the parking is happening. Also, there is machine, moving machine is there, it will bring the truck, then it is going out, it will place the truck, and everything is basically happening without any human intervention. So no traffic of the trucks on the road. But challenge has come once we are asking of this profitability should be shown in the ERP. Because my finance guy will understand from the ERP system. Okay? Because entire billing system is required of how much mines, how much ores basically you have bought, how much material you have bring inside the plant. So that was the challenge which we cannot implement it. 5-6 years back we have lost that order because that project was scrapped. Because the mindset was not there so that we can do together with the help of one of the IT companies. In 2022, we thought no, time has come, then this competition mindset, collaborative mindset, we should come out. And from where it has come, if you can see the CII, what we are doing in CII, We are also part of the CII. Our company is also part of the CII, and your suppliers are also part of the CII. So if you are sitting in the CII, fighting together that what should happen in the country, why not we can fight for the problem of the country which we can solve together. It's just a mindset which we have to change. Yeah, and that's what exactly in last 3 years is working perfectly fine. And we also launched one platform, Siemens Accelerator. It's a B2B platform, and we are asking our competitors to come and join us. Absolutely no problem. In some area, you might be my competitor, but in some area where we can collaborate together and we can provide the solution. So that's a fantastic way of solving the customer problem.
Thank you, Satish, for touching base on the sustainability points, how your products been used to different customers, and also, then touching on the win-win situation, for collaboration and strategic alliance. That's great. Now, I'm not going to specify any name, but I request you, to share some experience, in strategic alliances in operational excellence, from your real life example. Anybody can roll it.
Okay, maybe I'll start first. I was just mentioning to one of the faculty members here about it, and maybe I'll take that example. And it's also related to HR, not only operations. Okay? So as I told, operations works with all the departments. So let me take an example of an HR thing. So these days, I don't know if you understand in the corporate arena currently, there is a lot of challenges with staffing. It has to do with Gen Z, Gen X, Gen X, Y, whatever you call it. I am from millennial world, but there are a lot of challenges. We are facing a lot of challenges from acquisition of talent, cost of acquisition of talent it is higher. Folks, we have to retain them. There are a lot of challenges around that, right? So I'll just give an example around that because that actually helps us in being an operational excellence around that. There is one of the organizations, and again I will not name it, but there has been a constant challenge in getting the folks for the organization for a niche skill. Okay, there were a lot of niche skills that organizations used to work on, and it became really difficult for them to hire those candidates in the India market. And they wanted to do it, obviously they have an office in India, they want to do it in India. And they were unable to do it through their regular channels, which is called FTE, right? Full-time equivalent, full-time employee, whatever you call it. All the folks who get hired to an organization on the payroll of the organization, which hired them, is called FTE, and they are given all the benefits and all, right? And obviously there is a challenge of cost pressure on most of the organizations today, how we can reduce those costs. So with everything, what happened is this organization, they actually started looking at alternate staffing models. And I'll just give few names of it. Few of it is already there in the industry, like interns we take, and then we give them PPO, which you in the student life we call it PPO and all those kind of things. There are other ones which came up into picture, which are called fixed term hire. So these are folks who you hire for a particular contract. For example, I want to hire lawyers, right? And I am an IT company. Just giving an example. And I've got a project which actually requires lawyers. Now, obviously, I won't have lawyers and I don't have expertise in hiring lawyers. What would I do? I would actually try to get some strategic alliance or a partnership, which I mentioned, from an organization which actually can provide me those ones. Those are actually called third-party vendors for most of the organizations. And that is, from our perspective, we call it as fixed term hire. There is also called contract to hire. You must have heard about contract to hire again, right? So these are some of the channels which this organization looked at and told that, okay, let's go for these ones. And it actually helped them, started pushing all the risks, shared risks, again shared goals which I told about. I'll tell you shared risks. Because there was a risk because maybe this organization was not that great in that particular, as I give an example of legal, right? Legal hiring. But they got this from this particular vendor who was actually hiring only for lawyers from the industry and from in the Indian market, and they actually had a very good collaboration together, and they could get through the benefits that they were looking at. Today they are looking at operational excellence from a perspective of how can we reduce the time of onboarding. And then again, I was quoting this example before to some other person in the thing that there is a term in the industry which has come up, and I'm sure HR folks may have known about it. It's called hire, train, deploy. I don't know how many of you know about it. It's called HTD in short. Again, jargons. We work in jargons a lot. So HTD is something which is coming up big time. And what we do is with colleges, with staffing vendors, with different other IT companies, right? Most of the organizations wants to actually come up with this model about HTD. I'll just give a little glimpse of it. I don't want to take the entire session around that. But just giving a little glimpse of it, what it means is the organization with which you have this strategic alliance or the partnership, they actually hire these people, they train them, and whenever you need them, they deploy it for you. So what happens is, there are many such advantages. I'll tell you two advantages in this case, which I'm just explaining you. Is one is the cost of acquisition of those talents is reduced because you already have given it to another organization where you are not expert in. Second is the cost of onboarding becomes very low because you know, and the time also. Along when I say cost, it also means time along with that, right? So whenever I need it, I can actually start it tomorrow, right? And there are so many organizations today in India which actually are going with this. They are having those strategic partnerships with the colleges and the staffing vendors and all these type of IT organizations where they are actually going up with this particular thing. And how it is helping is it's again a win-win situation which Satish was just mentioning about, right? And as I mentioned about the shared goal and everything, it actually covers all those points really well. Thank you. Anyone would like to go further?
Yeah, I would like to go a little bit extra because I would say not the strategic partnership, we have to focus on the ecosystem. Yeah. We are moving the industry 4.0 might be 5.0 will come after 10 years or 15 years, we don't know. But if you have to go on industry 4.0 technology using, you cannot only focus on the partner. How about the academia? How well we are prepared, how much workforce we have prepared, are they ready for industry 4.0 technologies? Are they ready for the sustainability? That's the biggest challenge today. I can give you the example, you can call any of the top CEOs and tell him that I can solve your sustainability problem. Might be I have a solution. You will reduce the carbon content by 50%, you will get the appointment for tomorrow. Because that's the biggest challenge today laying on the table. Is academia ready to solve that problem? How much we are ready to use the technologies of Industry 4.0 to solve that problem? Are we ready in digital twin? Are we ready in big data analytics? Are we ready in IoT? Are we ready in virtual reality? Because you don't need so many people for intuition detection system. Yeah. And one example of digital twin I can mention, which I always keep giving the example. Using a digital twin, you can literally change the entire world in different cases. Because this real system is talking to the virtual system. It will give you benchmarking automatically. You need not to go and see what is the benchmark. One example I would like to quote, this concept is started in 2018. Just to draw that, let us see that how is our Siemens big campus is basically working. So we created the status model first, one building model, second building model, third building model. Got completed, then we thought that let us integrate all these buildings. So we integrated all these buildings, then we thought why not our all offices in India should be connected. So we connected all buildings of India inside it. Then we thought, why not let us connect the German office? We connected German office. Today, we have almost 1,200 offices got connected, sitting in Mumbai, and we are monitoring all these 1,200 offices, the performance of these 1,200 offices sitting in Mumbai itself. Yeah? What it's giving, it will automatically give you that building in Switzerland, why this building is consuming less power, the building is available in Germany. Okay, so what's the difference? Is there any problem here? Person sitting in Mumbai can know what are the intuitions are there in the campus of Switzerland or in Australia. You need not to go there. It will give the benchmarking, and next era of the business will come automatically like, this is the problems, you need not to go and search the problems. I still remember the one famous thought of Henry Ford that if I could have asked my customer what you want, he could have given that I need fastest horse. So might he has not invented this vehicle at all. Second, very nice problem which is given by the BMW to us. You can go and search on YouTube. One of our inauguration has mentioned that before we are going to construct the plant, we need each and every detail, means nuts and bolts of entire plant virtually. Can you solve it? No. Even digital twin cannot solve it. Then you have to go for industrial metaverse. See, we are talking about simulation to industry 4.0, then digital twin, and now we have gone for the industrial metaverse. All of you have remembered the metaverse of Facebook, correct? We have just copied that thought and taken to the industry to solve customer problem. And the metaverse is available, industrial metaverse is available with you. See how much benefit you can get. Wastage of the material is removed. You are 200% sure what will be the cost of entire project. You are very sure that how much money you are going to put in the project, and last but not least is the timeline. And that's what we are discussing, that to do everything or to do the scalability of all these things, from where you are going to get the manpower. Unfortunately, I cannot offload it.
I'm sorry to stop you, Satish, right now because I am mindful of the time also. And as you ended up with people, my next question goes to Yogesh and Kiran and also okay. We have covered supply chain, we have covered quality, we have covered customer experience, transformation, logistics, everything. We are basically people leaders in our position. Basically we work with people. And although there is a lot of IT, AI going on, machines and everything, but still people will be there. So how would people transformation excellence as a part of operational excellence? What kind of strategic alliances can benefit that if you go somewhere?
Just give a small example in supply chain, very relevant to this. As you know, here this summer in whole India, the temperature was so high. In Delhi, temperature was 47. And you would know all the consumer durable industry, typically those who sell ACs, they could sell whatever they could produce. But yet, there was a loss in opportunities for all the companies. Another example, because of early onset of summer, the food and beverage industry also lost a good, opportunity to sell beer or soft drinks, etc. So there's something called, in supply chain, they do demand planning based upon the historical trend, historical data is available. What was sold last year, same month, maybe plus minus, and then there's a historical loss that's to be forecasting. What was missing is actually to integrate the external data. That external data could be vendors, it could be customer sentiment, it could be certain events, which could have certain impact on the demand. Now to do that, obviously we have an AI model that in case the data is available external data, then you will be basically integrating it. There will be certain references, you find out the impact, and then it will tell you what is the sense demand. It's called demand sensing. Now, obviously, our tool has the capability, but the data we used to ask the customer, please get it, and then we'll do it for you. Because eventually, we have to do an alliance with a company called Climatic. They are the specialists in getting the data, and they also gave some algorithms so that for consumer durables, for the food and beverage industry, the demand planning activity has actually gone up. So the revenue or the sale has gone up by 5 to 7%. So that's the power of strategic alliance to solve a certain problem in supply chain space. See, any transformation, operational excellence is again a transformation journey. For any transformation, there are 3 things. First is people, organization, culture. That is the we always say that even if you use any Siemens or any tool, it is not going to be successful unless there is a mindset. There has to be a top-down as well as a bottom-up approach in accepting the change. So therefore, how to make people conducive for the change? The typically OCM is a very key aspect. Organizational change management. How to make people move from the current status quo to a new higher level of working, the process, etc. has to be defined. So the people training part, people culture part, and treating them as a with respect. That is the most important part. So you cannot ignore. So even if we talk about AI, ML, etc., our at Kinaxis we believe that AI should also only augment the decision making of the professionals. AI cannot replace human beings. So therefore, the importance of manpower, human resources will be always there. Whether it's AI, ML or any transformation, the organization have to make efforts so that there's a lot of training given, the purpose is shared so that any transformation journey is successful towards excellence.
Thank you, Reshma.
Yeah, in the interest of time, I'll probably give a small example, right? So I come from a location intelligence platform industry. So what does that mean is a very common use case is using your maps. That's a very common use case that everyone can relate to. But that's just one of the use cases for any location intelligence platform. To build this location intelligence platform, it's not a very straightforward process. It requires a huge amount of human resources to build. It's a very operationally intensive process to build any location intelligence platform. To give again an example, Google employs more than 4,000 to 5,000 folks to build their own Google Maps and location intelligence platform, APIs, SDKs, and everything. Apple employs more than 6,000 just for building their own maps. No intelligence platform on top of it. It's just pure maps use case on any iPhone. And everyone sits out in Hyderabad. So yeah, that's how it works. There are other two companies for which I work for are more into B2B domain. So when I say B2B is they provide location intelligence for customers like automotive customers, majorly like BMW, Audi, Daimler. So I work for their technologies and also TomTom, who kind of provided these capabilities for B2B domain spaces. So for all these companies, one critical component has been people. To build maps, you need to understand different aspects. Each and every process cannot be automated. Though I started my career back in 2010 when we had a very operationally manual processes to build these platforms. But fast forward to 2024, we have many machine learning models which can extract information from satellite images and build your own maps. So this is an example of how technology has evolved over a period of time. At the end of the day, there are a lot of manual corrections because at a given point of time, satellite imagery can't be of a great quality because of cloud cover, various other parameters that includes defining the quality of satellite imagery. So that's where I think people come into picture. So in short, I would say amalgamation of both people and machine is the way forward. In recent times, I think there has been a lot of debate on AI, but I think AI will work together cohesively with people to deliver more in less cost.
Thanks, Arvind. And being mindful of time, we have got another 14-15 minutes left to conclude the session. So I would open up the forum for questions. And I don't know how much we all did the justice to this discussion, in terms of giving you whatever you wanted. But this is a chance, where you can ask your questions and we'll try our best to answer you. And if we finish 12:30 and still your questions are left, we can approach the ISC and send it us over email. You know, we can get back to you. If you've got any specific question to any particular person from this panel, you may please email me. Thank you. Open up for questions.
Hello sir, I'm Vijay. So sir, my question is, as one of the most common challenges that we face during the operation experience to like the strategic alliance, and how do we mitigate them?
I think everyone can add the point to this, so probably it will be an assortment of answers.
Yeah, sure. So I'll just tell one, then I'll let others also talk. Okay. So according to me, again, as I talked about trust and communication, I'll tell culture. Okay. So whenever there are two strategic alliances, one strategic alliance between two organizations, what happens is we have to also look at the culture. For example, I just want to give this one example. We actually do a lot of due diligence whenever we are going to do a partnership. Right? We want to see that other organizations have the same values like ours. If our values and their values don't match, and even if we are talking about a shared goal, it won't work because there is a culture issue. Right? So that's one of the challenges, according to me. Any partnership in this, even you take it in a personal thing also, any partnership if the values don't match and if you would like to do that, it won't work. That's thank you.
The question was about the challenges faced in choosing a partner again, and how do you protect that? Is that the question, right? Yeah.
See, once you're choosing the partner, if you're doing anything, you are basically creating a partner. And I will take the example of this event system. Yeah. To organize this event, you have created a lot of teams. And in teams, you have a lot of people. And you must have seen that if 10 people are there, might be 7 are quite active because same culture, same mindset, might be 3 are not taking a part. And some of them, 1 or 2 are the leaders who are saying, no problem, let us deliver it, correct? So it's a mindset and the culture which you are approaching. I'm coming on the product launch, basically I would like to give an example. Earlier, if you would like to launch one project, you have sufficient 1 year or 2 years of the time. But today, speed to the market is become very critical factor of it. Yeah. So then, how to increase the speed? You have to increase the speed, you need the partner. And partner is the same like-minded where you are sharing the culture. And one biggest example is the non-compliance activity. You know what is the meaning of the non-compliance. So you are ensuring that to whomever you are approaching, your company is compliant. Because if your partner caught in something wrong, activity, your name will also get deteriorated. Might be it will directly hit on your name. So that's why you should be very, very careful, especially looking at 360-degree overview, but that is the critical topic which is wrong with the market.
Did you do right? Yeah, I think we touched upon a lot of points during the discussion on this. One particular example I'll give you, right from my company. We have got I told earlier, we have got a joint venture with Claret. Claret makes their own catalyst, we make our own catalyst. And there is a very clear-cut understanding of knowledge sharing. Very clear-cut, agreements, not, confidentiality agreements, what we will share to each other, where we would tread, what questions we would ask to each other, during any technology transfer. So there lies a very clear boundary line, and we respect that. So in any rigor and idea set, trust is very important. So when as far as mitigation is concerned, when we do a strategic alliance, we think of this very carefully, and then we formulate the agreement, we put the agreement in place. But that's on the softer part. We are human beings. We are always curious. So when we visit each other, when we talk about the products, when we get too close to the manufacturing, there's always a risk, of the confidential things, getting leaked into. So there lies some strategy at that particular moment. What should we do? So it's a mix of instantaneous strategy, and it's also a mix of the something like protocols that we need to build.
I just want to close this because I wanted others also to ask a question. But first, thank you for asking that question because I wanted to cover that, but time was not there. But we could cover it because of you. The second, everybody has spoken about lot of risk. I'll tell you one more big risk according to me, and again this comes with my experience in cybersecurity, is data risk. Whenever there are alliances, you actually share data among each other. If you have a very good control in your organization on the data, but you don't know about the other one and you have not done that evaluation, you're gone. Because you don't know nowadays in this, I'm sure you also all get those SMSs where they give you so much money and then you click on it and your phone is gone, right? Your financial data is gone. Something like that keeps happening on a daily basis for most of the large organizations where hackers are trying to get into, and if their IT controls or the security controls are not that great, then you're gone. So that again is a very big risk according to me. Whenever you are going for any kind of alliance, which is partnership, I call it, you have to make sure that IT data is there. I know this was discussed yesterday also in different channels. I just wanted to say OpEx perspective also, that from a strategic alliance perspective also is very important. Thank you.
Next question.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. My name is Ashwat. Sir, how can technological integration between strategic elements drive operational excellence, and what are the best practices for ensuring seamless integration?
I can take a try. There is something called, I'll again go to supply people and then they explain. There's something called a Gartner demand-driven value network, where the maturity of the organizations is assessed. This is the supply chain maturity, but it also deals with the operational excellence because the supply chain is the backbone of operational excellence. That while we talk about alliances, etc., there are many companies, more than 70%, who are around maturity of level 2 or below in that Gartner demand-driven value network. What it means that these companies, they have multiple business units, the information is not shared. There are conflicting goals and then KPIs within the organization. Forget about the external world. So when you go for a strategic alliance, you have to make your house clean and neat before you go for a strategic alliance. What it means, three terms. First is the data. Data part has to be shared. Number two is how the processes are set. Within an organization, as well as if I talk about supply chain, you have supplier network, tier 1, tier 2, and so on. You have shipping units, multiple business units, and then the customer. And then when you deliver goods, etc., then the logistics, then the CFA, etc. If the data is not flowing in the supply chain, it actually creates a lot of hindrance. And we understand any delays in delivering goods, etc., to the customer. 85% of the problems are about smooth flow of the data. How quickly the data can move across the supply chain will actually drive the excellence. Now, we still, I was talking to Raj, we still see companies using multiple Excel, they are not integrated within their operation, forget about the external. So data part is very important, how this can be integrated. That will lead to operational excellence. So technology will enable it. Here, so we did speak about digital twin. So how we are able to create a digital twin of the supply chain or the option that exists, or this alliances you have. If this information flows swiftly, in case there is agility there, if the resilience is there, then it can definitely look at operational excellence. That's my take.
Thank you, Rosh. I think some questions from that side.
Good afternoon, sir. So, myself first. I have a question that as operation domain is very, human intervention and with the help of machinery. So, how do you think that involving technology and right now, AI will, it will help or it will, go down? So, how do you think you put a limit to that so that, as it says that too many books spoils the plot. So, what's your input on that?
Okay, I'll just take one statement and then I'll pass it on to him. So again, this is a favorite topic of mine because I'm also a technologist, right? So, Jenny, as you rightly asked that question, actually there are a lot of risks with Jenny, okay, and we all agree with that. The only solution, according to me, to make sure that this GenAI or any sort of this new technology which are coming up will work is only through human intervention. There is always going to be GenAI and human coexisting even after 50 years, according to me. So there is no such thing which, I mean, even in the strategic alliance piece or in the OPEX piece, right? If we think through that GenAI will completely replace the humans or everything what we do, this is only helping us to make us efficient, and that's what the definition I told about OPEX, right? That's what according to me, is the answer or the statement that I would say.
Well, that's a very good question because when computers were introduced, I think this was the same kind of discussion everyone was having, where the computers would take over us and we would end up losing our jobs and not having opportunities. But that did not happen, right? Things are made easier for you today. You can use your phone, you can use your computer to do a number of things. But back in the days, you had to be dependent on a lot of manual activities. So that's where I think even AI, ML, ChatGPT, all these technologies are going to help you to improve what you do on a day-to-day basis. Today, for example, you are able to do X amount of items delivered or X number of items manufactured. Tomorrow, that's going to multiply and it will help you to achieve that. So I don't think it's going to be any impact on us. We are going to work together to achieve the goal of any particular individual or an organization.
One point basically which I would like to just add in one statement, machine, it's a practical problem. Sometimes your machine gets break down, you have to ask somebody. But use of AI, various technologies are there. Supervised learning, unsupervised, intrinsic, or GenAI. I think if you're using supervised learning, it will give you that how fast you can repair your machine within 4 hours without inviting any service users. So that's a positive aspect of it.
I think the last live question, another hand I could see from there, just behind him. Somebody raised her hand? Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Ravi Singh. So, since yesterday we are discussing about different things that we should keep in mind before entering a strategic partnership. So, my question is, how do we evaluate and decide when it's time to end a strategic alliance, and what are the steps to ensure a smooth transition?
I think just sorry. Please go on.
So I think when you are kind of evaluating any strategic partnership and you're planning to kind of end that strategic partnership, the important aspect of this entire process is communication. How and what do you analyze to communicate this entire chain of information to your business partner or a strategic partner, and how well do you put forward this entire set of information will help us to navigate this entire end of the relationship, because we don't want to end this partnership with a bad taste in the mouth, but at the same time we want to be aligned with what our goals are, right? So if that does not match at some given point of time with the dynamics and VUCA world, there might be a case where we would need to end a particular partnership, and then that's how I think it is critical for any organization to communicate very clearly the why and how are we going to do this, and then mutually end that particular strategic partnership. That's my take on this.
Thank you. I think the purpose is very important. Why we are going for the strategic alliance? If it is a short term, if it's very well defined, then it automatically the timeline gets defined. If it's a long-term relationship, you need to have again clear guidelines set. How would you like to go and go on. But then, some point of time, if it is not working, then it's better to discuss that and then have an end point. And hence, in most of the agreements, wherever alliances are made, some scope of ending the agreement, all those expenses. So I think that pretty much answers, what's the goal of your strategic alliance? Is it the short term, is it for a specific thing, or is it the long term with common business goals, with larger interests? That is nice. I think with that we come to the end of the session. No more live questions, please, and I request if you have got any specific questions, please email us. Thank you very much.
We would like to extend our sincere gratitude for your valuable participation in the operations panel of Marmagya 9.0. We are confident that the knowledge you shared will inspire and empower our attendees as they continue their professional journeys. We would also like to thank Mr. Rajkumar Mukhopadhyay for his contribution as the moderator, and to all the panelists for keeping the session engaging and interactive. We would now request the guests to please come forward for a group photograph.
Just because of Western culture has क्या बना दिया इसका कुछ बंदा बना रखा है आंखें काली हो गई साले के बाद पहले ही बाल कम दिख रहे हैं हमारी क्या आवाज आ रही होगी कि लाइव जा रहा है
Thank you so much. Now we will hand over the card.
फाइन लगाया शो पॉलिसी बनाओ माइक ड्रॉप जिसके हाथ से
Good afternoon, everyone. Students will take a lunch break now and be seated on your seat by 2:15.
सॉरी
क्या की तू मत रहो जाओ मेरे को तुम लोग कितना स्टीरियोटाइप भूख लगी है क्या ये दो लोग घर हाथ तुम दोनों कल तुम नहीं कर रहे थे
कम्युनिटी सेंटर
ये लोग नशे कर रहे थे कल
बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर है बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होते